Supergirl.
The CW has always been responsible for bringing fans some of the best DC Comics content around, often releasing shows to greater critical acclaim than the larger movies that compete with the MCU. And after the successful reception of Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League, there's no wonder that Supergirl Season 6 is considered to be an anticipated show right now. But what do we really know about what is sure to be the final season of the Supergirl franchise, and why is it set to change everything we know about the broader Arrowverse? Well, whether you're a fan of the Kryptonian bombshell or just want to know as much as possible about the end of one of the CW's finest shows, you've come to the right place, as we're about to explore everything there is to know about Season 6 of Supergirl. So strap yourselves in and get ready for a fight, as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. The Supergirl Season Renewal. Supergirl as a franchise revolves around the life and times of Kara Zor-El, who is portrayed by the incredible Melissa Benoist, better known to the public as Supergirl. Kara discovers that as a Kryptonian on Earth, she has a couple of powers that rival those of her cousin Superman, which she can obviously use to save the world from evils of all sorts. But unfortunately for Kara, nobody last year had enough power to save Earth from the effects of the dastardly global health situation, which quickly caused Season 5 of the show to be cut short due to production-related shutdowns. We have to remember that back then, a couple of states decided to lock down completely, which made filming the remainder of Season 5 next to impossible. Rather than making fans wait who knows how long for the entirety of Season 5 to come out, showrunners Greg Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg and Ali Adler decided to cut Season 5 short and work on bringing it to an end for the sake of fans. This meant that viewers were at least able to see what had already been filmed for the season, rather than making them wait another year or two for a release that had been promised. Season 5 was received pretty well by fans, which caused viewership to be on the rise. This meant that it didn't take long for the network to renew the franchise for a 6th and final season, which is looking to take off precisely where the 5th season was cut short. The release date of Supergirl Season 6. As we said earlier, the onset of the global health situation had a massive effect on the filming industry. Even when filming resumed last year, things had changed completely, with there being a slew of safety requirements connected to sets across America. This meant that the failure of anyone on set would result in the set being quarantined for a few days, often causing massive delays to the release date of that specific franchise. Due to this unfortunate state of events, streaming platforms like Netflix refused to announce any release dates for some of their most popular titles, with fans still being uncertain as to when Season 4 of Stranger Things and Season 2 of The Witcher will come out. It is far safer to announce a date once both filming and post-production have been completed nowadays, after all. Funnily enough, Supergirl also faced a greater delay in the form of Melissa Benoist announcing towards the end of Season 5 that she and her husband Chris Wood were expecting their first child together. Since the majority of the series shows Melissa portraying Kara in a spandex suit, pregnancy wouldn't exactly be something that could be hidden from the fans. As such, filming for Season 6 only began when fall of 2020 came around. Regardless of all this though, it looks as if the CW has all of its ducks in a row as far as Supergirl is concerned. The final season has been given an official release date being March 30th, 2021, which is only in a few days' time. What is important to note about the season this time around is that it will be showing on a separate night altogether. So if you're a regular, please take note that Tuesdays will now have to be set aside for Supergirl. In fact, the CW have actually brought Supergirl and its spin-off show, Superman and Lois, together once and for all, having Supergirl take its slot while it is on hiatus. The returning cast of Supergirl Season 6. Since there is no Supergirl without the Girl Wonder herself, Season 6 will most certainly feature the beautiful Melissa Benoist as Kara Danvers, known formerly on her home world of Krypton as Kara Zor-El. So much has happened to the Kryptonian over the last couple of seasons, and we know that she has quite a few storylines and arcs that need to be completed before the franchise comes to a close. So we can't wait to see what she has in store for us when the 30th of March comes around. We can also expect the return of the one and only Lex Luthor, who is surprisingly played by the man made famous by 2.5 Men, Jon Cryer. Although his casting created a bit of a backlash when the news of his role first reached the ears of fans, it must be said that he now holds quite a bit of love from the viewers of the franchise. And by that, we mean that fans absolutely love to hate his character. What more could we ask for from Lex Luthor, right? Since Season 6 of Supergirl is considered to be the final leg of the Metropolis Metropolis-based leg of the Arrowverse, the majority of the cast has been made popular by the show, will be returning to say their final goodbyes. This includes Kyler Lee as Alex Danvers, David Harewood as Martian Manhunter, Katie McGrath as Lena Luthor, McCad Brooks as Jimmy Olsen, Callista Flockhart as Kat Grant, and maybe even Tyler Hoechlin as Kara's cousin, Clark. Either way, it's looking as if the final season of Supergirl is going to be an absolute blast. The plot of Season 6 of Supergirl. Not much is known about the overall plot of Season 6 of the series, but it must be said that the release of the season's teaser trailer just 2 days ago gave us a much-needed glimpse into what we can expect from its release. Just keep in mind that none of this information has been confirmed, with the majority of it being nothing more than our assumptions based on conjecture. In other words, don't hold us responsible for what we're about to imagine the plot of Season 6 to be. Before diving right into the trailer, we have to remember that Season 5 of the franchise was cut short. As such, we can imagine that Season 6 will not only be presenting a new threat, but cleaning up any of the storylines that were left unfinished in the last season. And while Leviathan was presented as the more immediate villain of last season, we believe it's fair to say that the Luthors were once more the overarching threat of the show. Since the Season 5 finale of the show was going to show Supergirl finally facing off against the megalomaniac himself, we can probably expect there to be a bit of a conflict when Season 6 kicks off. It is, however, also possible that the showrunners ignore this completely, as it would be pretty difficult to show a defeated Lex, only to have him come back in the very same season. Regardless of how they do it though, the Luthors' hatred of aliens and the power they possess is definitely going to be the overarching theme of the season. Power corrupts, after all, which is precisely what happened to Lex and the rest of his family. But without further ado, let's launch ourselves into the trailer and see what we ascertain. Number 1, a supercharged Lex Luthor. When we saw Lex, he had stolen a bottle of Leviathans from Brainy and gone through a portal of sorts to work on an unknown project. The opening scenes of the Supergirl trailer seem to indicate that this project was actually aimed at the transference of the power of immortality of the Leviathans into Lex. We can see him surrounded by electricity, which appears to supercharge him, as shown by the superhuman punch against the nearest metallic wall, which leaves it dented. He then reaches out and grabs the Leviathan weapon, powered by kryptonite, declaring that he is going to finish Supergirl off once and for all. It also seems as if Lillian isn't 100% on board with Luthor's plan. With her presence being lacking from the rest of the trailer, does this mean that Lex has disposed of her? Or maybe she has defected to the side of Supergirl and will be redeeming herself as a spy of sorts for the other side? The options are endless, but what remains clear is that Kara is going to have to take Lex Luthor at some point. And since the Leviathan weapon is powered by kryptonite, she's going to have to find a way around it. Number 2, Lex Luthor is the Anti-Monitor. Now that Lex has obtained the power of a god, he can finally rid the world of what he considers to be an alien threat. As we're all well aware, he has always believed that Earth should not be defended by aliens, but rather by humans. In other words, it looks as if he will be threatening the world once more in an attempt to rid it of Kara and her friends. We even see a glimpse of him declaring that he will do what the Anti-Monitor from Crisis on Infinite Earths failed to do. This statement is followed by a few explosions, which are then reacted to by William and Eve. But we're not sure if this was Luthor's doing or just some smart editing. Either way, there's no doubt that Lex has a larger plan to get the attention of Kara, and we can't wait to see what he has in store for us. Number 3, Nya saving Brainy. Last season, we saw quite a bit of character development when it came to the relationship between Brainy and Nya. After capturing the Leviathans and resigning himself to death, Brainy was tricked by Lex, who then stole the trapped immortals from his dying arms. After having a vision of Brainy being in trouble, Nya let the team know, giving viewers the assumption that they were off to save him from the clutches of the new and improved Luthor. The trailer shows us a determined Nya who shouts, "I'm not going to let you die," to someone who looks to be on a Leviathan ship. We then see a healthy Brainy fighting alongside his friends later, showing this somehow Nya was indeed able to save him. How though? We suppose we'll just have to find out by watching. But what do you think of the season finale of Supergirl? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below.